Hi everybody. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to deal with anxiety, how to manage anxiety by shifting our focus. We all have a decision to make at any given moment of time what we're going to focus on. And people sometimes talk about the RAS, the reticular activation system, that the bouncer in our brain that decides what thoughts to let in or what parts of our awareness, what things to focus on and what to let go of. It's like a little flashlight in the midst of a big, empty, dark place, right? We choose to focus that attention on one thing or another, and it makes a huge difference about the quality of our life. Now, I talked about this in a message I gave just a few days ago. I'm going to provide a link in the notes below to that talk, and then also another link just to the specific anecdote about this, the information about the RAS and what that has to do with gratitude. Because here's the thing, by choosing to focus on something we're grateful for, changes a lot. It's hard to focus on gratitude and at the same time be angry. It's hard to focus on gratitude and at the same time be stressed out. So this is a practice called writing or making a fear to gratitude list. And I heard about this. A woman talked about this in a conference that I was at. And she talked about crippling anxiety that she lived with and how she had come to overcome this, or at least to manage it. She was in a much better place because this was her practice, sometimes daily, but at least every so often, frequently making a fear to gratitude list. When she was feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed out by things, she would do this. Now, I'm going to provide a link to an actual list you could download. It's right here. But you can just do this on any old piece of paper. So just take a sheet of paper and write a line in the middle. And on one side, just start to write down the things that you're anxious about, something that you're stressed out about, that's overwhelming, that you have a fear about. So write that down and then skip, 5 lines or so, skip a few lines, and then write the second thing another thing that you're stressed out about, anxious about. And then skip some lines and again, go down as far as you'd like. On this sheet that you can download, there's actually space to write in 4 things. And if you're having a really rough time, you can download multiple copies, right? And just keep going. So you make a list of those things that you are struggling with anxiety about, that you're dealing with fear about, okay? So then on the other side, the second column, what you would do is on each of those things that you've listed, so with item 1, you would then write down, make a list of about 4 or 5 things that you can be thankful for, that you have gratitude about related to that thing. In other words, maybe it's an issue with my job. I'm stressed out or I'm anxious about my job, okay? So that would be the thing that I'm anxious about. And then on the other side, I would think of 5 things related to my job that I'm actually grateful for. I'm grateful that I have the job. I'm grateful for this part of the job that is going well, or that I like this, or whatever. And then maybe the next item you have is like a fear or a health issue. And you could then write some things that, in spite of this health challenge I'm having right now, these are things I can be grateful for. So on down the list. So at the end of the time, you would have, let's say you've written down 4 things that you're anxious about. And then within each of those, there's a number of things that you are grateful for. And there's a huge shift that takes place, because what you're aware of is, even though things are, that I'm not happy about, these certain things in my life, even though I might have anxiety that certain things might not be going well or what might happen, I can also realize that in that very area of my life, related to that very issue, there's maybe some things that are good. There's things that I, have been spared, or things that can be grateful for. And by doing that, it allows you, again, to be more conscious, or it forces you to be more conscious about looking at the issue from a different vantage point, which is the vantage point of gratitude. And as you do that, again, over time, you keep doing this, daily or every so often as you need to. When you do that, it changes things. It shifts things. Now, there's a very significant spiritual issue involved here, and Paul writes about it in Philippians 4. He says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." So the idea is, instead of in place of our anxiety, when we're anxious about something, we can pray about it and ask for God to provide help, to provide or to offer some kind of petition about that issue. So far, so good. But what he adds here is to do that with thanksgiving. And once again, that's related to this, what we're talking about with this fear to gratitude list, that when we offer petitions along with thanksgiving, it shifts how we perceive the situation. Because then he goes on to say, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." So there's the promise that when we do this, that there will be peace, that peace will become part of our experience because we have, number one, turned this situation over to the care of God. And number two, we've also reminded ourselves that there's something more going on, and there's other aspects of our life and even this situation that are actually blessed. And it allows us maybe to have more of a glass half full perception of the situation. So give this a try. You have nothing to lose. It doesn't take very long to do this. Just try it for a day or a few days and just see what happens with your anxiety, with your stress level. All right, I hope that you find that helpful. Let me know what your experience is. There's a place to contact me in the notes there. And keep tuned into this channel for more information about strategies that can help you deal with mental health challenges.